This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
You're listening to WSTU Stewart.
It is 6:09 at WPSL 1590, the talk of the Treasure Coast, and WSTU, Martin County's Heritage Station. Time now for Small Biz Florida with Tom Kindred.
Thank you, sir, and welcome to another segment and installment of Small Biz Florida, the podcast and broadcast that is all things business across the Treasure Coast and the entire state of Florida. Small Biz Florida is brought to you by the Florida Small Business Development Center Network and is produced by the Florida SBDC at Indian River State College. Small Biz Florida is designed and produced to highlight and promote business assistance resources, celebrate entrepreneurial success, present best practices, and most importantly, provide timely business information for Florida small business owners and operators. I am Tom Kindred, and I serve as the Regional Director for the Florida SBDC at IRSC. I also have the scars of 25 years of small business ownership. So for me, the mission of this program is simple and clear. Make sure small business owners are aware of all the powerful business assistance programs available to help them start, grow, and succeed. So, Greg, how are you this evening?
Doing well.
We are slowly but surely, maybe, getting back to biz. We have dedicated the last number of segments and episodes of Small Biz Florida to kind of talking about issues that businesses need to address and deal with as they re-engage in the marketplace. Tips. The most recent issue of Treasure Coast Business was kind of dedicated to, looking ahead after the COVID-19 issue. So slowly but surely, it's a little disappointing to see maybe some spike in some cases of COVID-19, but hopefully this doesn't, derail the reopening of Treasure Coast businesses. So,
Gregory's doing the right thing. He's wearing a mask.
I know. Yes,
a mask would really help you.
Yes, I know. I probably should have been wearing a mask before COVID-19. But
well, I got to tell you something though.
Yeah.
Our two largest Spanish clients, one was an auto dealer, and the other was an attorney, bailed at the very beginning of this. They both came back this week.
Well,
and
good for you. Yes,
bigger than they had in the past. So
nice.
It's like,
okay,
this is interesting. And on the English side, we're doing fine.
Well, it's we're out and about. I was downtown Fort Pierce today. Had lunch. Met with Fort Pierce Main Street director Doris Tillman and her assistant Michelle Cavalcani, and things. We're making progress as we kind of get back to biz. So I'm encouraged. The college is slowly but surely kind of returning. People are returning to campus. I think all summer classes are still online, but that was to be expected. But Summer A, I think grades are due this week or next week. So Summer A is, I can't believe Summer A is over, but it is. So Summer B will crank up, and so we'll just have to see where everybody is in the fall. I think every day it really is. I hate to use that old term, but it really is a very fluid situation.
There's no doubt about it. Yeah,
we are all in uncharted waters with this thing. We kind of compare it all the time to other types of disasters, but there's just not one to compare this one to. So
not a worldwide one like this. And the big thing, I think, Notre Dame was the first college to make the announcement about going in early in August, and they're going to go straight through with no breaks. Right. And end in November.
And I've heard that. I've heard that from some other universities. I think it's a great idea. Go in straight, and the students probably will appreciate it. And I think what they're doing is basically stopping at Thanksgiving, and then the students are finished. And a lot of colleges said they'll take their exams online, but they will not return to campus after Thanksgiving.
Right.
So it makes sense. The students don't go home and then interact and then come back to campus. So it's once they get there, they stay. I think it's a great idea, and apparently, a lot of universities are picking up that model.
Yes, yeah.
So tonight we will, as we always do, we will kind of devote some of our time to what the SBDC is doing in terms of relief and recovery operations, and we've got some big news tonight to talk about. Good news in terms of our resources and expanding capacity to get out, engage with businesses, bring some consulting to the marketplace, try to help businesses review what they've done in terms of loans, and then where are we moving forward, strategic planning, business planning. So it is good news, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I want to start this evening with an extremely unique and innovative and powerful program. We've talked about this program many times before. It is our Lincoln Park Career Pathways program. We've had our good friends from the Franciscan ministry on. Upinda has been on with us a number of times, who's funding the program. We've had Career Source, Brian Bauer and his team, Career Source Research Coast, who's partnering with us on this program. We've had Bob O'Brien and Joe Gorham on the program, who have CCTI, who kind of leads the actual training portion of the program. It really is an extremely unique program. But most importantly, it is an opportunity for folks to get high-level certifications and get engaged in what really is a career path, both in logistics, in manufacturing, and in the healthcare field. So we've got with us our very good friend who is working with the Lincoln Park Career Pathways program, Mr. Gregory Simpson. Gregory, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. So you come to us straight from Blackburn. You and I and Bob and Joe and Melanie spent a little time together yesterday.
Yes, sir.
We actually went over and I don't know, should I say what we did? Maybe we brought. No, I had a mask on.
Yeah, we were fine.
We were fine. We're want to make sure I didn't break any rules. I'd be arrested on air or something. I don't know. But we spent a little time, the group yesterday, Wednesday, and kind of walking into some businesses and talking about this opportunity. So, Gregory, I appreciated you working with us and appreciate the hard work you're putting in to making sure this program's a success.
Well, no, thank you. It's a labor of love. It's a great program. In particular, what we really want to focus on is the manufacturing training program. This program is one that it goes without saying. We need a few good women and men.
That's right.
It's a program for all walks, and we basically focus on blueprint reading, industrial measurements, job planning, and job layouts. It's a hybrid program that goes a little bit with online and also hands-on.
All right.
So it's an important part.
Let's start. I want to get into the details with you, but let's start with you. Give us a little background on you, kind of your pathway, because you got an interesting pathway. You've kind of been through Indian River State College, so kind of talk to us about your pathway to your current position with Indian River State College.
Well, I'm a Fort Pierce native, born and raised. Went to Lincoln Park Academy High School. Afterwards, went off to college in Orlando. Got my degree in psychology. Came back home. Small business. I own a tax preparation and accounting business, Shining Star Tax Services, with my mother, Alice Simpson. From there, I went and got my bachelor's degree in accounting, and I started this program with Miss Melanie George back in October. She started it. They brought me on as her assistant, and from there, it's just been a great opportunity to be part of this culture. Yes.
Now you, we were talking a little bit before we went on the air. You're now pursuing your master's in accounting.
Yes. I'm just practically 4 classes shy of my master's program in accounting. So once again, I look to contribute to the small business sector further in the future.
That's right. We may need to use you, Gregory. Keep you close, Gregory.
What? We filed taxes back in 2003. Oh.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about the Blackburn Center, Gregory. I mean, just some of the programming that takes place. I mean, a lot of folks don't really realize that IRSC actually has kind of a full-blown campus. Right in the heart of Lincoln Park, right there, just west of 25th Street on Avenue D. It's a beautiful facility.
Absolutely. I mean, I would like to thank Dr. Massey and the leadership of Indian River State College to even consider the area to build that building in. I mean, it really is a beacon of change. It's a symbol of what we're trying to do in the community as far as educating those that are near and dear our hearts, our friends and family in this community, in the city of Fort Pierce. And I'm just really pleased that we have that. We have programs for individuals who need to get their GED. We have language programs for individuals who have English as a second language and they want to master that skill. We have small business classes that we offer there for individuals that have office training. We have the Lincoln Park Career Path Initiative. There's a lot of things that we provide there that individuals probably don't even know or not aware of, and I'm glad we have these type of programs to give that type of acknowledgement.
What was it, Tom, 2 or 3 years ago when we were over there for that big job fair?
Kalita Scott did a Lincoln Park, I think it was a business fair.
It was Business Expo.
Yeah, Business Expo, right, where we
yeah.
kind of highlighted Lincoln Park situated businesses.
That was wonderful.
Yeah,
that was
incredible
wonderful.
facility. And you've got a very powerful leader over at Blackburn. You've got Miss Adrienne Jefferson. And I know it's got to be really a lot of fun, and it's got to be inspiring to work with somebody like Adrienne. I mean, she knows the community so well and is so engaged and has a lot of passion about what's going on at Blackburn.
I mean, Miss Jefferson, without saying, she is the leader. She is the spearhead of all the things that go right on that side of town, and we really do appreciate her and her leadership. She's always there. The weekly conferences, make sure that we have our program, our objectives in line, and she's always asking, what can we do? What can we do more? So she's always pushing the envelope for greatness, and we're just trying to do our best to, make sure that we achieve her level of taste.
So talk a little bit about, you had begun to kind of talk about it, but talk about the Lincoln Park Career Pathways Initiative. I mean, what is, again, kind of what's the high-level purpose of this program?
Well, I mean, you hit it on the head. It's basically funded by the Allegheny Franciscan Ministries of Florida. It started off back in 2014, but now we are in the 2-year process making sure that we are trying to make sure 176 individuals get the certification so they can be more gainfully employed and they can be job ready. And this is very important because in a time where we see that jobs are being opened, there's more jobs that's now available than there was in the past, but we have a complaint. And employers are saying they don't have any workers. Right. So we have a shortage of labor, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bridge the shortage of labor and the work experience through education. And this program is free, which is a very amazing thing, to say the least.
Yeah. Tom, that could work for us. Gainful employment. What do you think? Huh?
Yeah. If it unfortunately, these are somewhat tough careers. I don't know. I may not have enough left in me for one of these careers. But let's talk about the 3 primary areas of focus under this initiative. It's you've got a healthcare component. You've got the manufacturing component. You've got a logistics component. Kind of talk about those 3.
Okay, yeah. Let's start off with the healthcare. Certified nursing assistant, CNA. It's an 8-week class. Once again, free. Traditionally, if you do your shop around, that class normally go about $400 out of pocket. That is, everything is given, books, the uniforms, shoes, even the socks. Ms. Melanie George, Ms. Adrienne Jefferson, they make sure that they do everything they can to keep the students motivated and engaged. The next one is Certified Logistics Associate. This is working more on the logistics, warehouses. So the likes of Amazon, Walmart, CVS warehouses, we want individuals to get understanding of what it takes to work in the warehouse, the language, the safety procedures, the product, etc. And then we have the manufacturing production technician. This one here is the one that will be working on your gear ratios and reduction, shaft alignment, pulley functions. So you're looking at the likes of somewhere like Piper Aircraft, more of the manufacturing and the assembly setup. But once again, the thing that really makes it special that all these programs are free, and we also provide stipends such as gas, and they even have child care service that we provide for the students as well. So, I mean, with the Allegheny Franciscan Ministries and Indian River State College, along with the Career Source Department and the Economic Development Council, they have put together a slew of resources that can make sure that anyone who enroll in these programs are extremely successful.
Yeah.
Do you have to live in Lincoln Park area to?
Yeah,
to
talk
go?
a little bit about the eligibility, Gregory, since Greg asked the question. Yeah.
Yeah, very good question. There are some requirements. There's a map. If you were to have a visual map, you have Angle Road, US 1, Orange Avenue, and Airport Boulevard. So that is more or less your square radius area that they're targeting. If you live in that area and you are a resident of that area for at least 12 months, it's all for you. That's particular for you. If you're not in the area, you can register, but it is an out-of-fee pocket. But we'll discuss that later on. But for now, it's gained towards those people that's living in that Lincoln Park area.
It's marvelous.
And then, you talked about the three components. Even in a time of this pandemic and kind of a reduction in employment, these are still three very hot employment sectors, are they not? I mean, obviously healthcare, that's certainly looking for new employees. To your point earlier, Gregory, I mean, our local manufacturing community is telling us every day we need employees.
Mm-hmm.
And as we all know, logistics is certainly a growing field. Amazon, distribution. We've got major distribution centers right here in our community. Walmart, major distribution center.
Mm-hmm.
CVS distribution center up in Vero Beach. And then there's smaller distributors. There's beverage distributors like Southern Eagle Distributing, and
Mm-hmm.
So there's just all kinds. Those three industries really are it really is a very hot job market even during this pandemic.
Yes, sir. Hence the reason we're giving certifications that is going to be focused on gainfully employed. That's the key focus on this. If you're going to come in the program, we want to make sure that you're having what we call a living wage experience. So once you get the certification, you can have wages that you can live off of. Hopefully, it'll take you to another tier. And if anything else, nothing less, especially for the CNA program, it shows that they can pursue further education in the medical field.
Well, and you used an important word there. You talked about certificate programs, certification. So all three of your programs lead to a national certification. So I mean, it's something real and something valuable to that student, right?
Right, especially with the CNA, state certified. I believe we have well into the high 90% as far as the state passing. So our nurses are extremely qualified, very dedicated individuals. And once they get that test, you're right, they're ready to go. They're ready to be hired, and they're ready to assist.
Okay. And we talked about eligibility, but we talked about in terms of kind of like geographic eligibility. Are there age limits? And you mentioned earlier we're looking for a few good men and women, so it's for both women and men. Again, what about age? Is there?
Zero discrimination. If you're in that radius between US 1, Angle Road, and you're north of Orange Avenue and between Airport Boulevard, there's no age discrimination. There's no gender discrimination. It's about citizenry. And if you're a citizen of that particular area, then guess what? You are entitled to get this free education.
Okay. And you touched a little bit on it earlier. Talk about kind of what's the length on these programs?
That's very good. For those who are interested, the lengths are 6 and 8 weeks. The CNA program is an 8-week program. CLA, Certified Logistics Associate, and the Manufacturing Training Program, they are also 6 to 8 weeks. Okay. Traditionally, the majority of substance happens in the 6th week, and then after that, the last 2 weeks, the majority of times reviewing. and getting prepped for the finals so they can get certified.
Okay.
And also, in addition to that, let me piggyback off that as well. You also get the OSHA certification within the Certified Logistics Association and the Manufacturing Training Program as well.
Again, another very valuable certification out there in the marketplace.
Exactly.
Again, how does one find out about the program? And kind of, I know it's a little fluid right now with all that's going on with the campuses and things. But do you sort of kind of know when the next group is going to start in the program?
Yeah, the next group that we're looking to start in the program, we're looking towards the last Monday, I believe it's June 29th, for the manufacturing program and the Certified Logistics program. We already have the nursing program on its way. It has begun, and we'll be looking to start more programs probably within maybe the first or second week in July. So up until now, between now and next week Friday, I'm doing nothing but enrollment and recruiting to see who's interested, and then everything should be good to go and classes begin the last Monday of June.
All right. So before I forget, how does one get in touch with you to learn more about and potentially get registered for this incredible program?
Thank you. The best way to do this is contact the Indian River State College Blackburn campus, which is 772-462-7100, and just ask for Gregory Simpson or Melanie George, and we'll be there. If you don't know the names, just say, hey, I want to know about that free program. Okay? I want to know about the free program that you guys offer in Fort Pierce, and we'll know exactly what you're talking about, and I'll be getting in contact with you as soon as possible.
And, I think you also made a great point, Gregory, that, a student, this is a great opportunity to maybe get engaged in that higher education and kind of the first step into higher education. They could get through these programs, they get that certification. I mean, they could build on this. They could then come back, start taking some classes and work towards that 2-year degree, that AA, and then maybe work on towards that 4-year degree. I mean, it really is a great beginning place for an individual to start that pursuit of education.
I agree with you 100%. I really do. And that's what we want to promote. This is not the ending process. This is the beginning process. So we want to promote continuous growth. That's why we say we don't discriminate against age or anything like that, gender, because we want everyone to have the opportunity for growth. And you also kind of, don't you structure the classes? Maybe some of them are days, some of them are nights, but you do try to accommodate some folks that are currently working that want to maybe get a new career or upskill. This is also part of that process too. So they can keep their day job but do this in the evenings or work at nights and take the classes during the day. There is some flexibility with your programming? Right. With the program, we do have a level of flexibility, especially with the CNA program. They do provide night classes and day classes. Day classes are traditionally 9 to 1, Monday through Thursday. Night classes are usually the same time. It's the opposite, it's like 6 to 10. However, when it comes down to the Certified Logistics Associate and the Manufacturing Training Production, those two programs are not offered at night. Those would be the daytime from 9 to 1, Monday through Thursday.
So, and the reason you do that is because you kind of want to focus attention on them and get them through the program.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically what we will do and what we have done in the past is tailor based on the student population. If we see that we have a half a dozen, 6 people or so, that's interested in the Certified Logistics program or the manufacturing program, and they all take night classes, we might tailor. We can find an instructor to do the night classes to help them. We have had night classes like that before. But for now, everyone seem to be unemployed, unfortunately. Right. Yeah. So there's free time in the day. So we're utilizing those daytime hours.
Yeah, good point.
Yes, sir.
How many of your people are second career type individuals?
That's a very good question. I will go on the limb and say, I'll say about 90%. 90% of those people have come to us because they're tired of their current position. Well, and they want to try something
probably
new.
Low wage, food industry, things of that nature.
Exactly.
And I think you even used the word. I mean, these are careers.
Right.
These are careers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this isn't just a job. I mean, these are, manufacturing, logistics, and healthcare. Those are areas where a person can really develop a career with benefits, with paid time off. Mm-hmm. The kind of things that people want out of a career.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at the likes of the folks that work at the Walmart and CVS distribution center, Amazon. Those folks are happy. They're making really great wages compared to the service industry, and they have future growth, and they have benefits.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, absolutely. These are career focused certifications.
Right. All right. Real quickly, give us your contact information again.
Yes, sir. You can reach me at gsimpson@irsc.edu, and that's gsimpson@irsc.edu, or you can reach me at the office, 772-462-7100. My name is Gregory Simpson, and this is the Indian River State College Blackburn Campus Lincoln Park Career Path Initiative.
Gregory, again, great work. Thank you. Thank Melanie. Thank Miss Jefferson. Thank Linda Small in the office. All of you guys are doing a great job over at Blackburn. This is an incredible program. Again, want to thank Upinda Shabazz from Allegheny Franciscan Ministry, who has really kind of made all this possible.
Absolutely.
You got partners in this program. You've got Career Source Research Coach, Brian Bauer, Marcelo DeSantos, Susan Haggard, all that whole team at Career Source. And you did mention one that I forgot, and I certainly don't want to forget them, Pete Tesh and his team at the St. Lucie County EDC, Jill and Candy, who are also a big part of this Lincoln Park Career Initiative. And to your point earlier, obviously thank Indian River State College, Dr. Massey, his vision and leadership that really gave the platform to create a program like this, which is the Blackburn Center.
Yes, absolutely.
So incredible program in the Lincoln Park area. I just cannot stress this enough. I'll shout it from the mountaintops, and I shouted it yesterday as I walked from business to business. Take advantage of this program. If you're out there, if you reside in Lincoln Park, and even if you don't reside in Lincoln Park, you need to be calling Gregory. You need to be calling Melanie. You need to be researching this program and seeing if it's right for you, because it is an incredible opportunity to get engaged in what is incredible careers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Gregory, if you don't mind, hang in there with us, because we may come back to you to wrap things up. But and for those of us out there listening, stay with us. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with my favorite SBDC team member, Miss Katie Muldoon. So don't leave. Hang in there. We'll be right back. And we are back. This is Small Biz Florida from the Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute right here at Indian River State College. I am Tom Kindred, and for those of you who just joined us, we have dedicated the last number of segments and episodes of Small Biz Florida to our COVID-19 issue, trying to bring information to the business community about re-engagement in the marketplace, tips and resources that are available out there to help the businesses as we begin to get back into the marketplace. So that's kind of what we are going to talk about a little bit here in the second half of our show this evening. And I've got with me, I think, the coolest employee ever at the Florida SBDC. We've got with us Florida Small Biz producer, Miss Katie Muldoon. Welcome to the show, Katie.
Thank you, Tom. Happy to be here.
Katie is our marketing specialist here at the Florida SBDC at Indian River State College. Katie is responsible for producing Small Biz Florida, the podcast and the broadcast, and we certainly appreciate her help in arranging these productions, because I can tell you that every Thursday rolls around quickly. At
least once a week.
At least once a week.
Minimum.
Thursday comes, and we have to have a show. So I want to thank Katie for all she does and in helping us with our show and with our new podcast. But we'll talk about that in just a minute. We have had on the show the last couple of weeks, we've had our good friend Bill West. We've had Pete Tesh. The Florida SBDC at Indian River State College has partnered with the St. Lucie County EDC to create what we're calling the VBRC, the Virtual Business Recovery Center, which is housed at the Pruitt campus of Indian River State College. And what it is kind of a collection point and a primary point of contact for all kinds of information and resources that are available to the business community across the Treasure Coast, again, to assist those businesses as they begin to get re-engaged in the marketplace. All kinds of tools and resources available through the SBDC, and again, the Virtual Business Recovery Center is kind of a clearinghouse for those. Katie is also serving to make sure that we get the information out about all that is available through the SBDC. She controls and handles all the social media, so there's a lot going on. And one of the things that Katie has been working on the last probably, 2 months, Katie, we've been doing a series of weekly webinars, great topics that allow businesses to kind of check in and, again, get some information, ideas, thoughts, advice, tips, as they begin to re-engage in the marketplace. So I wanted to have Katie on tonight to kind of update us on a number of issues that are going on, a number of tools out there that businesses have available to them. So again, Katie, welcome to the show. Thanks for all you've done the last, let's see, you and I, it was spring break week, 2020, Tuesday, March the 17th. I think that was St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
When the governor initiated and activated the Florida Small Business Emergency Bridge Loan, and Katie and I have really become close since March the 17th. We have worked, been in the office quite a bit. We've tried to maintain that 6 foot social distancing. Yes.
She locked you in the closet.
Yeah,
did.
she's maintained like a 60-foot distance, social distancing
Taking
with
precautions.
me. But again, Katie, I really can't thank you enough for all you've done the last couple of months. I mean, they have just. We don't really have weeks anymore. We're just one big long just work day. I'll never forget. I sent kind of a request up my chain of communication at the college and said I wanted to make HR aware that Katie would probably be working more than 40 hours a week. And I got back the strange email back, but they soon realized I wasn't kidding. So Katie really has put in an awful lot of time, an awful lot of hours as we first dealt with the Emergency Bridge Loan Program. Then we moved on to PPP and EIDL.
You guys haven't stopped.
No,
We
we
haven't.
really haven't. I don't know. We have gotten the last couple of weekends we've gotten to take off, but again, Katie, I appreciate all you've done. So let's get started. Kind of update us first with what's going on with the VBRC in terms of these webinars. Really good stuff. CCTI instructors are kind of leading these webinars. Good stuff. Talk to us about what's coming up.
Right, yeah, and I do want it on the record that I paid Tom to say all that about me. It was a great intro. Thank you so much, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, diving right into the VBRC.
I work for food. She knows that. Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
yes. Although he called me a raccoon earlier, so maybe I'm the one that works for food. So diving right into next week, we have some really great topics coming out of the VBRC. Starting on Wednesday, June 24th at 10 a.m., we have Resilient Leadership, Thriving Through Change, brought to us by Deborah Williams, a CCTI instructor. Deb's going to be talking to us about how we bounce back when life deals us challenging circumstances, and if there are different ways to build resiliency without going through some serious trauma, and then talking about some daily habits that busy professionals practice to develop the qualities of resiliency. So I'm very excited about this one. I actually sent it to our Director of Student Activities, Rochelle Pop-Finch, over at IRSC, to put into her Emerging and Legacy Leaders program. So I expect to see quite a few IRSC students in this one, and if I don't, I will be reporting back, so I hope the students hear that.
Students beware, yes.
Students beware, yes. And then rolling into 2 p.m. on the same day, Wednesday, June 24th, we're going to talk a little bit about marketing with social distancing with Patrick Arcement, another CCTI instructor. He's going to be teaching us what consumers are going to be calling with fears and concerns as far as how you and your business are upholding to CDC guidelines and social distancing and operating your business and things like that. And then rolling into Thursday, June 25th, we have a Commissioner Tom Epsky with the Florida Reemployment Assistance Appeals Commission is going to be answering some questions on COVID-19 and the Fair Labor Standards Act.
He was great on your show last week.
Yes.
By the way. He was amazing.
Yeah.
I always enjoy talking to Tom Epsky. He's always got great information, and this is a great topic. I have a lot of people that are very excited about it. We're going to be discussing the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, the FFCRA, and how it affects businesses and their obligation under the Fair Labor Standards Act, the FLSA, or the Wage and Hour Law. So we're really excited to have Tom in the webinar room again for that one and answer those questions. That one will be repeated the next week too. We'll have a recording up on youredc.com, but if you miss it on Thursday, June 25th at 10 a.m., it'll be the next week, the next Thursday at 10 a.m. as well.
Unbelievable. I mean, is that not unbelievable?
I was just going to ask you, where do you see these? And you just mentioned it.
Yep,
That's
we're
great.
going right now. So you can register in advance for these webinars if you go to youredc.com/VBRC/. Again, that's youredc.com/VBRC/. And you scroll down to upcoming webinars to register, and then you keep scrolling and you'll see the past webinars that we've done in the recordings, which we've gotten a lot of hits on the recordings as well, people sharing it with their employees and their teams and things like that.
Katie, incredible lineup of instructors too. I mean, Deborah Williams, Patrick Arcement, Tom Epsky. If you had to pay to see those three people, I can't even imagine what that would cost to get those three people in a room to do training. You won't believe kind of the response we get when people attend a Deborah Williams or a Patrick Arcement. Patrick really got incredible response from the one he did. And of course, Tom Epsky's always good, and Deborah just really standout instructors and really being innovative here. These, they're normal CCTI instructors, and they're normally, used to coming in the classroom, doing 3-hour sessions. So we really appreciate them being innovative, being flexible, getting outside the box, and kind of taking their normal, instruction and normal curriculum and breaking that down into a 45-minute webinar that really is really powerful information for businesses trying to get re-engaged in the marketplace. And again, to Katie's credit, I mean, that's just one thing she did last week was put those together. Yeah. So that's why I had to put her in for overtime.
Many hats.
Now, I don't want anybody to be shocked or don't hit the floor here when I mention this, but you do realize it's hurricane season.
No. Yes. June marks the start of hurricane season, and forecasters are predicting this year's season to be very active.
Hurricane Corona.
Oh, gosh.
Yes. So, here we go. And I'm not a meteorologist or a forecaster, but all I can tell you is what I hear, and what we're hearing is that it could be a fairly active season. So, again, we've kind of really had an incredible dress rehearsal through COVID, but we've really got to get ready for hurricane season now. And we normally talk about this at the SBDC, business continuation planning, disaster planning. But, we've got to get back to the basics here and talk about hurricane season. So, again, Katie, kind of update us on what's going on with the hurricane planning resources and tools at the Florida SBDC.
Right. So the Florida SBDC has really done a great job in preparing for disaster relief and recovery. But the question is, how do you prepare for hurricane season during a global pandemic? And that's the golden question right now. So the first step always is to have a plan. It's important to have a disaster plan in place for your small business, keep communication with your employees and everything like that. Sit down and dedicate some time to creating a plan if something does happen. Back up your data, make sure that you can access important files. Take the time to secure important business documents, your tax records, your legal documents, your financial documents, and put them in a secure location, a secure dry location. Identify and prioritize your most important operations and procedures. Again, this is just spending some time determining and prioritizing what your most important operations and procedures are. Prepare your team, make sure you can get in touch with your employees after a disaster, and ensure that your employees are aware of your disaster plan and understand their roles in the business during a disaster. And then consider insurance options. I was surprised by how many people didn't know that there is actually insurance out there for hurricane preparedness. Make sure you have sufficient coverage to pay for potential disruptions of your business, as well as the cost to repair or rebuild. Most policies do not cover flood damage, so you may need to buy separate insurance. That's something you're going to need to research. And then, of course, always know you're not alone. As with any disaster, the Florida SBDC network is here to help your business prepare for and recover from a potential disruption. So you can learn more about all these tips and about the FSBDC in general at www.floridasbdc.org. Again, that's www.floridasbdc.org. And speaking of the SBDC, we do have a lot going on at our local center. Tom, if you want to touch a little bit on what we're doing here at IRSC.
Yes, as part of the original CARES Act that was passed by Congress, there were some supplemental funds that were, and I think what I really appreciate and thought was very well thought out in this legislation was, I think Congress recognized that it's one thing to give businesses dollars, just give them dollars. I think Congress recognized this time they need the dollars, but they also need the support. So they did set aside some dollars for minority business centers, women-owned business centers, and SBDCs. So, of course, some of that money has now been channeled to the Florida SBDC network, and then that money has been divvied up and been allocated down to the center level, which is us. So we did receive some additional funds. We were mandated, again, which I think is a great idea through this legislation, that the majority of that money has to be spent to increase our consulting capacity, meaning, like I like to tell people, more wingtips on the street. So we're going to put more consultants out there. We're going to double the size of our staff here at Indian River State College to make sure that we've got consultants out there on the street to help businesses work their way through this disaster. It's a 16-month program, so we'll have these additional consultants around for a good long while, long enough to really get engaged in the marketplace and help businesses. So that is coming. So I want folks to know now is the time to get in touch with the Florida SBDC at IRSC and make an appointment to talk to a consultant, and let's talk through some problems. I want to also remind everybody that we have launched our podcast version of this broadcast, Small Biz Florida, the podcast, and you can access that podcast at smallbizflorida.podbean. That's PODBEAN.com. smallbizflorida.podbean.com. And that is really kind of a statewide focused program, but a lot of great guests on that program talking about tips and resources and assistance and thoughts as to how to get back in biz and get re-engaged in the marketplace. Our last issue, the spring 2020 issue of Treasure Coast Business, which unfortunately I know it's hard to find now, but restaurants are reopened, so businesses are reopened, so hopefully you can find a copy of it. It really was an excellent issue. While it had all kinds of great content like it normally does, there was an insert, a complete insert in the middle of the magazine, totally dedicated to Small Business Guide to COVID-19, tips to do right now to stay afloat. Pro tips, looking ahead, finding help. So really, it's more than just a magazine. The last edition, it was really a resource guide. So you want to make sure you find a copy of Treasure Coast Business. If you can't find one, call me and we'll get you one. I also want to remind everyone that the summer issue is being put together right now. Deadline to participate in the summer issue of Treasure Coast Business is next Friday, June the 26th. So if you're interested in advertising or being part of the magazine in some way, be sure and get in touch with us before the deadline next week. And I want to end by talking about a very unique program at Indian River State College, specifically the School of Business. They're calling it the Upskill Program. And you can upskill in just 6 weeks. Classes are starting June the 24th. Enroll at IRSC now and be in a better position to succeed later in the new economic landscape. Use this time while you have to expand your skill set, to help you land your next job, improve job security with your current employer, or take that leap into entrepreneurship. Registration is open for online classes that begin June the 24th. That's really our summer B term. Earn credits and IRSC upskill certifications in just 6 weeks. Courses are credit bearing and may apply toward corresponding associate in science degrees. Students obviously need to have a GED or a high school diploma to enroll. So again, as with the Lincoln Park Career Pathways, what an incredible program. Just in 6 weeks, you can take some college classes and basically get credits for those classes, and most importantly, get certification that you can take back to the job and hopefully bring the skill back to your team. So again, an awful lot going on. Katie, again, kind of tell us how someone, we threw a lot at them, but how does someone call us and engage with us and get more information and register for a consulting session? How does all that take place?
Right, so to register for a consulting session, the best way is to shoot us an email at fsbdc@irsc.edu, and I will send you an email back with a request for consulting link. You can also call us at 772-336-6285. I answer that line, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about anything we talked about tonight. And then you can also check out, again, all of the resources available through the SBDC network at www.floridasbdc.org.
And we've still got our good friend Gregory Simpson with us. So Gregory, kind of wrap us up by telling us, how does someone, again, get in touch with you to find out and possibly register for the Lincoln Park Career Initiative Program?
Yeah, once again, you can reach us at 772-462-7100, or you can email me, which is gsimpson@irsc.edu. We'll be looking forward to hearing from you, and we'll be willing to help you.
All right. Gregory, thank you so much for time out tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for all you're doing in Lincoln Park. And good luck on your master's program in accounting.
Thank you, sir.
Katie, thank you for all you've done the last couple of months as we've responded to this pandemic and put all the resources into place from the Florida SBDC. So thank you for your help in that.
Of course, Tom, thank you.
And with that, we will bring to close another segment and installment of Small Biz Florida. I want to thank our partners here at WPSL, WSTU, and WPSL TV, our good friends and partners, Greg and Carol Wyatt. I want to thank the Florida SBDC Network for sponsoring and helping us bring this show to the marketplace. And you can always find out more about all that we're doing in terms of entrepreneurship and small business support by visiting that IRSCBiz.com site. That's IRSCBIZ.com. As always, I want to thank our producer, the coolest employee of Florida SBDC, Miss Katie Muldoon. And with that, we will talk to you next week on Small Biz Florida.
You've been listening to Small Biz Florida right here on WPSL, Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast, webcaster to the world, on TuneIn, Google Home, and Alexa, and WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station.